Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Hanji ji, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi. So first we will start with that we are discussing these shabads because previously we have talked about Puta Mata Ki Asis, and then we talked about Lakh Khushiyan Padshahiyan, and then last week was Antkal Jo Lashmi Simre, and now Tati Vauna Lage, because we have some beliefs or stories associated with them. I myself also grew up with that, and I think there is one school of thought which says that reciting Gurbani will bring change, and that school of thought believes that Gurbani is only like a mantra. I think today we will explore it. I think it is beyond that. I grew up with that. Sometimes these Shabads are very relieving. I think it increases our self determination, self confidence, and they help at that level. It keeps us motivated that we have support. And but I think there is something beyond that also, that I it changes our mind and we believe, and then finally it changes how we think, and then our actions will change. I think the self confidence motivation is a good starting point, but we have to take it to the next level where our belief, thoughts, and actions will change. So with that said, first we let's go through this shabad once, and then we will come back and discuss that how and where else it comes. So it starts with ताती वाव न लगी, पार ब्रह्म शरणाई, चौगिर्द हमारे रामकार, दुख लगे न पाई, सतगुर पूरा भेटिया, जिन बनत बनाई, राम नाम औखद दिया, एका लिव लाई, रहाओ, राख लिए तिन रखन हार, सब ब्याद मिटाई, कहो नानक कृपा पई, प्रभ पै सहाय. So if we start from the first line, because this shabad is always used and the preference is given, or the more emphasis is given to the first line, which is tati vav na lagai, par brahm sharanai, chaugird hamare ramkar, dukh lage na pai. So the belief with this is that once you are in the blessings of Guru or Akal Purukh, at that time there is a Chaugird Hamare Ramkar around you, there will be some security and nothing can pierce into it, and you will always be in a safe zone. So, no problems or nothing can touch you. That is the belief with that, because it says the hot winds does not even touch when you are under protection of Supreme Lord. And then, but if we take the line of Rahau, which says, Satgur Pura Petiya Jin Banat Banai, Ram Nam Aukhad Diya, Eka Livlai. So once we see the Rahau line, here the message is, because this is the core message of the Shabad, and then we have to take this core message, and the other lines will be elaborating or will be giving more examples of this. Now it is saying, Satgur Pura Petiya Jin Banat Banai, that I have met the perfect Guru, or the Guru which I have met, which has brought the change in me. So Ram Nam Aukhad Diya Eka Livlai, that it has given, again the aukhad is used for medicine, that it has given me the medicine, and using that medicine now I am always connected with the one. So here it is talking, the main core message is that I am always connected with the one, and that is the medicine, and using that medicine now, राख लिए तिन रखन हार सब ब्याद मिटाई. Again, ब्याद is all these issues or sicknesses or bimariyan we can call. So that medicine is helping me to keep away all of that. Kaho Nanak Kirpa Pai Prab Pai Sahai. And then again, this is the way Guru Nanak, the Panjme Pasha, 5th Nanak says that it all depends on his blessing. So this is one meaning, and we have been listening to this type of meaning all the time. What I did was I also went and checked that where this Tati Vow is coming again and again in Guru Granth Sahib. So this one is coming on page number 819, what we currently discussed. Before this tati wow concept has come three times. Two times it is coming on page number 132, where it says, जिसको तू प्रभ पया सहाई तिस तत्ती वाव न लगे काई तू साहिब शरण सुख दाता सत्संगत जप pragtavya. So again, but if now, if we see the Rahau of this line, Rahau says, "Hau wari jio wari gurmukh man tan pavaniya, tu mera prabdata, tu mera ola, tum sang lave na lavaniya." So again, it by following Guru's teachings now, one who understands and loves the Guru or loves the Akal Purukh, this understanding is very big. So support for them, and nothing can break this understanding. So again, if we see the previous Rahau and this Rahau, again it is saying that we are getting this understanding of Shabad, and now this understanding of Shabad is what is changing our thought process. And once my thought process and beliefs are changed, because of this, I will tolerate the uncertainty, or I will accept the hukam, or I will accept the pana, and I will always be in happiness. So again, the metaphors here used are that this is the medicine which will keep away the sickness. That is a kind of example which is used. But again, the way I am taking this is that this is the knowledge or the thought process. It changes our mind, and once our mind is changed, our belief system is changed, and our understanding of surroundings is changed, and we accept the hukam, that is where the change will come, and we are not touched by these uncertainties and other things. So next time when it is coming in, again it is on page, same page, it says, जो सिमरंदे साइयां नरक न सेई पाइयै तत्ती वाव न लगी जिन वुठा आईजियो जिन मन वुठा आईजियो. Again, if we go to the Rahau of this Shabad also, the Rahau again says, नित नित दयो संभालिए यह मूल न मनो विसारिए. So again, that we have to remember him, and we should not forget the Guru's teaching any moment, and that is where our actions will change and we will not be touched by things. And the very interesting Shabad, the other one which we sung many times is, and then there are some gutkas also. There is a Dukh Panjani gutka also available, that you recite this Shabad or you do this part, and then you will not have any problems in life. So those Dukh Panjani gutkas are out. So that in that Shabad also Tati Vav is coming. The Rahau of that Shabad is, दुख पंजन तेरा नाम जी, दुख पंजन तेरा नाम, आठ पहर आराध्य पूरन सतगुर ज्ञान रहाओ. And then in that Shabad it says, पै कृपाल गुसाइयां नठे सोग संताप तत्ती वाव न लगी सतगुर रखे आप. So but if we see in the Rahau, it is saying आठ पहर आराधिए पूरन सतगुर ज्ञान. So I think that is the punchline which says that we have to be always be connected. Now last time I think we discussed that Antkal. So the way I understood Antkal was that whenever we are making any decision, what is that decision driven by? If it is driven by the Shabad, the Guru, then it will bring the change. So Aath Pahar Aradhi hai Puran Satgur Gyan means our all actions should be under the influence of the Guru's teaching, and that is where the change will come. So again, Gurbani, I think here the main message is that Gurbani changes our mind, what we believe, how we think, and finally changes us, and that is where our actions will change. as per the teachings of Gurbani, and that is where we will start reflecting on Gurbani. Now, the other aspect of this is that I think this makes us stronger, and we perceive the reality efficiently and can tolerate uncertainty. And I think that is the message which is coming here, that tati vauna lagai par brahm saranai, because on the other side Gurbani tells us that we will face everything, and at the end I will also take some examples that who has faced this uncertainty and tolerated these reality very efficiently, and they accepted that hukam. So again, as we have seen, everywhere Gurbani is acting on our mind, it is giving a message to our mind, and it is changing our beliefs and thought processes. That is where our actions will change. If we take the last shlok of Japji Sahib, it says, Jat pahara tiraj sanyar, Aaron mat ved hathiyar, pau khallagan taptao, panda pao, amrit tal, kadiye sabad sachi taksal. And then again, it says, Jinko nadar karam tinkar, Nanak nadri nadar niyal, that goes into the blessing. But again, it tells us, Jat pahara tiraj sanyar, that the self control is the furnace and patience is the goldsmith. It is correlating things. So it is talking about that we should have self control, we should have patience, and then we should have a good understanding is the spiritual wisdom or the tool, and always be in hukam or fear of God paukhala, it says. But again, accepting God's will or being in hukam is the flame. And then it says kadiye sab sachi taksal, that is where the true mind will come into action if we follow all these things. So again, it is talking to our mind only. So I think if we take this into account, then tatti vauna lagi means that our uncertainty or actions of other will not change our thought process, and will we will not be impacted by those changes. So we will accept hukam. And above all, Gurbani has also given the concept of pana manana. So we will accept the hukam and we will be in pana. So let's take some examples of the people, right? So the first thing which comes to my mind is who were not impacted by Tativa, or who were not touched by these outside things, is the great example of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. See, Guru Gobind Singh Ji faced all of these problems. So we cannot say that Tativa na lagai means that you will not have what we see, that if we have lost somebody or something happening. So if we see at a young age he has to lose his father, and then during his life he lost his sons, and then he lost his beloved Sikhs also, and then even he lost Anandpur Sahib, which he loved, which was created, so that was his main house. So he lost everything. But again, Tati Vauna Lagi, in spite of all of this, he was untouched. He was untouched and he was always motivated, and he accepted the hukam and pana, and he faced it bravely and he kept moving. So his goal, he was always working towards his goal, and he was never impacted by those things. So when, so that is one example we can take, that Chaugird Hamare Ramkar. So he had that thing around him, and no, and these things never touched his. So his thought process, his connection with the Akal Purkh, those things never changed. So he was always connected. So that is the type of mind is developed with Gurbani, and which is untouched. So that is the medicine which Gurbani is. I think that is what is talked in this Shabad. We can talk about Baba Banda Singh Bahadur. Towards the end of his thing, he has, his son was assassinated and his heart was put into his mouth. But again, at the end, when he was questioned, he says that, okay, I will, that is okay, now you are the king, but you have done that. But if I was in your place, he was always in Chardikala, and he never accepted his defeat, and he remained in that. The another story is of Pai Tilka ji, who had a yogi in that area who was offering swarg, that okay, come and meet me, you will get swarg for this much time, and then he increased to 2 years, then 3 years, then entire life. But again, Paitilka ji was not impacted by those things, so he was not touched. I think that is what another kind of tati vow is, that okay, we are not touched. And chaugird hamare ram kar dukh lage na pai, so that was the boundary. Our thought process has changed, our belief system has changed, so again we remained untouched. And if we see at the pagats also, once their thought process and other things have changed, there is no going back. So again, to conclude this, what I think, the knowledge of Gurbani and how it changes our thinking, and then we are not impacted by these outside events, is what it says, that Gurbani is the Chogirdama, is around us, and it saves us. And then that is how we are away from this Tati Vauna Lagi, is again that we are not impacted by the outside events or other things happening around us, and we are always focused, we stay on our path. I think that is the core message which I think. And then we can open it for discussions, and you guys can share, we can learn from each other. Thank you ji.
Anji, thank you. Anji, Gurdeep, you want to add?
He explained very well actually. You know what it happens? It has something to do first is psychologically, your willpower, it increases your willpower. It's based on the real stories. Prathai Sakhi Mahapurkh Bolde Sanji Sagal Jahane. If you know one Sakhi, one time Guru Hargobind had Sitla, he became sick because he was tried to murder by their own relatives. So all these things give us a strength, inner and outer. So then depends upon each individual how much we are in love with our Satguru. Satguru is the where the power comes to us. So more we are deep in love with Satguru, the more the power we will get, and he's going to protect us. You know, there's a book written by someone in the third person support. We are okay. First person support is ourselves. My wife is my support, my parents or children. But no, it doesn't work. Then the doctors are our support, hospitals are support. Then what happens if they say, no, we can't help you now? Now we need a third person support. That's the God. That's your belief. Either we start from the beginning, or by that time we are going to die. We need third person support. This all Gurbani is a support for us every day, day-to-day life, every walk of the life, every moment, every time. We get strength. Otherwise, we can go fall flat anytime, any moment. For example, let's say stock exchange drops over the night. You see, take example of 5 people next morning. One had a heart attack. He died right away. One is still laughing. One said, it doesn't matter. I made it before enough, and now I don't care even if I lost it. So why those 5 people have different kind of action when the reaction is the same? So that's why Gurbani help us throughout our life, through thick and thin, every little problem, big problem. I think we get involved into Gurbani right from the childhood, right from the right time. It is going to help us. Thank you very much. He explained very well, actually. I'm happy to hear everything. Thank you.
Anji, thank you, Uncle ji. Anji, Ripudamanveer ji.
जी विजय जी खालसा जी फतेह. Any specific question, Harvinder?
No, any observation you had on this Shabad or anything what Dilpit Veer and Uncle explained?
No, actually, I mostly I think so completely agree with what has been said. Maybe just one point that Tati was interpreting it as like how we interpret our situation. So sometimes when we have the best of physical comforts and victories in life, we are really miserable still. And sometimes when we are in the midst of physical discomfort or failures, we are still somehow very happy. So it depends upon probably our outlook, and that's what Guruji has been shaping us in Gurbani. So when we say tati vauna lagai, it's like how are we perceiving our situation? Are we perceiving it as hot or thanda, cool. Um, so so therefore, with Parbrahm the Sarnainal, we perceive everything as cool, Chardi Kalaich, rather than being bogged down by it. That's how uh, I was interpreting it. And but how do you get that attitude created? Sadgur Pura Petya, Jin Banat Banai. So maybe this Banat is our Banat, as in like our attitude, mental attitude, the Banat, psychological attitude, the Banat Banai. So jad Sadgur the Bani no pet deo, samajh deo, then we carve ourselves, our psychology, or rather our psyche, ਬਣਤ ਬਣਦੀ ਹੈ, and then ਉਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ basically we are ਇੱਕ live like ਇੱਕ ਦੀ live ਵਿੱਚ ਲੱਗੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ. So maybe that's how it is. ਭਾਜੀ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਭਾਜੀ ਫਤਿਹ.
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਵੀਰ ਜੀ। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਏਕ ਓਂਕਾਰ ਜੀ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, you heard everyone. ਹਾਂਜੀ, any observations, any feedback on this Shabad?
I don't really have a comment on the Shabad. I appreciated listening to the presentation, and I think that I guess there's the only thing I struggle with is that I'm not entirely convinced when we talk about the gurus, just being in hukam and not being bothered by things. I don't know that I believe that. I really look at the gurus as human beings. And I think that there's just a reality to emotion that no human can escape. And I don't think this line about the wind not touching me means that I don't feel those feelings. I think it means that when I'm connected to Parabrahm, when I'm connected to the divine, I might feel the heat, but it's not going to destroy me. And I think that's a subtle and important distinction, because sometimes I perceive in the Sikh community that the notion of charity kala actually turns into a kind of spiritual bypass for genuine feelings. And that can create problems for folks. And maybe I'm incorrect completely. Like I'm not claiming to understand this, just reflecting on my own observations. Whereas, and that's the thing I'm a little bit unsure about for myself, that I believe the Guru grieved his sons. I believed that he felt the pain and the loss. I believed that when he was in the Machuara forest, and that it was hard, and which is why he came up with the Mitra Pyare Noon Shabad to give himself hope. I think he had a human journey, but he wasn't destroyed by the opposition, and that's the protection that we get from our connection. So, I could be completely wrong about that. I just thought I'd share that one perspective.
Anji, thank you.
No, I think if I can add, I think you are absolutely right. We cannot perceive our gurus as superhumans. Okay? They also had the feelings, and they felt the same way with us. I think what I see is that I think they also perceived the reality under the teachings of gurus, or they perceived the reality better than us, and they accepted the pana and moved on, and they were not stuck like us human beings, where we get stuck. But I think you're right, they had the same feelings, and they also, I think their feelings may be more stronger than ours. I think you're right. Thank you.
Anji, thank you. Thanks for sharing, ji. Anji, Ranaveer ji.
Hanji, can you hear me?
We can hear you, ji.
Hanji, thank you, Virji, for a very detailed explanation or your perspective, which you drew from different Shabad as well. You just made a comment, and I think that brings back one of the events where I was present. You might have heard about this gentleman, ki naam hai, Bhai Jeevan Singh Ji. I think he has been with these Jatha, Jada we have, what's the name? Rantir Singh Jathede. Anyways, so he was doing Kirtan in Vancouver, where I was sitting there. And whenever he did Kirtan, he will be totally into Kirtan. And news came that his grown-up son has passed away. What I noticed that, we are talking with Guru Gobind Singh Sahib, the other people, you get to a stage of detachment. You get to realization that these things are transitory, which we don't have because we are so attached, more na lage hoye hain. So I saw that he didn't feel anything. Yes, son has gone. He did Kirtan. After that, he was welcoming everybody and all that. And that somebody made a comment. And I think since we mentioned about Guru Gobind Singh Sahib, they were human beings. Yes, they were human beings. But they also elevated themselves to a certain level where they were detached from the material world. These are all material things. So I think that comment I just want to make. The other thing is now about the whole translation. Same point, sometimes you see we get a time to spend and think and reflect, and then we come here. Sometimes person like me, fully idiot, does show up here without reading anything. And last time when we did, I think VG alluded to the last week's Shabbat to Antkal Jo, Istri Simre and all that. I went back and thought about that too, but I'm not going to go there. I'm going to come back to this Shabbat. If I time there, I will go back and make a comment on that one. On this Shabbat, I'm listening to all the participants who spoke before me, that they are perceiving this Shabbat as that we are to do this thing if we do this thing. But I think in the Shabbat, who is talking? Rahaut tuki Satgur pura petiya jin banat banai. What type of banat banai? Ram nam okhadya eka livlai. Who is talking? It's not Guru Sahib is talking. The mind is the man is talking. It's the state of your mind. It's not we brought it out to the physical people and talking about this person. People think about that. No, I think when I was looking at that, it is the man is saying that Satguru, when I got the wisdom from Satguru, he gave me this panacea. A panacea is from the wisdom I got now. Man is talking about that. No physical body is talking. We are talking the physical body. Well, Guru Gobind Singh, Guru Sahib nu pain hoi, whatever it, because he left his house, Anandpur Sahib. No, it's not a physical body. He has mind, in my opinion, is talking. Mind is saying that when I got the wisdom from Guru, yes, and then I learned about Nam, and my live was there, and that became a panacea for me. And then he says, now because of the panacea, that I am, nothing is happening around me. Tati voice, I remember my parents used to say, somebody will come and visit, they will bless him, Tati na lage tanu, Tati na lage. Basically, you should be immune from all the unsettling things which are happening around. And I think mind is speaking the same thing over here. There's no physical body about that. Mind is saying that if I get wisdom, I get Naam, and once I have Naam, meri live lagi hui hai, then I don't have to, it is something like a protective wall around me. And that's the way I look at that. And I think this is, we have to look at from that angle. But when we start giving examples of that, we are getting the same trap what Ragis are doing. Yes, if you do this part and all that, this will happen. But coming back to that point too, I think one point on made, Aat Pair Aradi, people, because we were talking about the Panjani Sahib and all these things. Let's keep in mind that we cannot take any action Although you say we should be acting, we cannot act unless there's brain plasticity. If a brain plasticity requires that we have to repeat the same thing over and over and over again. Art per aradi is definitely a way. Nam japna is a way. That's the only way to change your brain thinking, how the brain thinks. Brain plasticity requires that. You cannot act on anything unless you have the thought before for that. Thought is a precursor to action. A thought cannot be changed unless your brain start to think about that. So art by radiye. So it's good to repeat the Panjani Sahib is a very good thing to do it. If you repeat it sincerely, but at the same time you think that you are going to change, ultimately you will change. Yes, it is a voluntary process, but it takes place non-voluntary. That's the way I feel about the whole Shabbat. Vaheguru Ji Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Fateh Ji.
हाँ जी, थैंक यू वीर जी। कुलवंत कौर भैन जी। हाँ जी, कुलवंत कौर भैन जी, you mute right now.
Hanji, Ji, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, ji.
Yeah, Hanji. I'm just listening. I think everybody explained so well. I also grew up, with the same notion, like reciting this shabad whenever you have some problems. We recite this shabad, and I'm listening to. I definitely believe that Guru or Guru's Bani or Guru's wisdom is a support system that helps to shape our mind and change our mindset. And also, I think what Ekam Karji touched the topic that sometimes in our, Sikh community, we bypass spiritual chodikala as, emotions does not touch us. I think I'm trying to sift all these thoughts and it's still not registering my mind, settling my mind. I'm just trying to understand. That's all I want to say.
हाँ जी, थैंक यू जी। हाँ जी, गुरजीत वीर जी।
हाँ जी वीर जी।
हाँ जी, भाई खालसा फतेह जी। So
जी की फतेह जी।
I know you joined it, but any feedback on this Shabbat or what you heard so far?
No, I think there's still a lot of doubts left in the Shabad. Ranaviji has tried to solve some. So, tati vauna lagai parabram sharnai. It's a condition which he has attained, and he's trying to tell us that how come fifth Patsha. If you look at these three Shabbats together, they are all coming with the almost same notion. The one before this says, मरमर जन्मे जिन बिसरिया जीवन का दाता पारब्रह्म जिन सेविया अंदिन रंगराता. This is a shabd previous to it, and the one next to it again starts with अपने बालक आप रखियन पारब्रह्म गुरुदेव सुख शांत सहज आनंद पाए पूर्ण पै सेव. So he's telling his experience that he is out of the tati, although we physically think, because we can only think physically. He has never ever said, like we say, Guru Nanak has never mentioned that Mehta Kalu is my father. But all on his birthday is one thing we say, because we are Vedantic, not Vedic. In Ved, nothing to do with physical body, everything to do with the spirit. So this tati voice to your spirit. Kal tati thanda har now. When the mind is imagining things, kalpana karna, that's where you get hot. Rajotamo, sato, these are the three factors which keep you always hot, which I think has been quite nicely explained by the Shabads itself. If we read like, Tata kachuna hoi hai jo taap nivare aap. I have to do the section myself. Someone can only help me that this is the problem. You are stuck in Rajotamo Sato, you're stuck in the Kalpana. You have to come out of it. Parbrahm Sharnai means hukme andar sabko. If we accept that, then there is no problem because I'm not the doer. I'm only a part of the system. Whatever happens, happens for my betterment. And just, excuse me. All right. Pritpale Nanak hame ape mai baap. If we just say this, we don't say, we always relate our mother father as mother father. But there Nanak says that Par Brahm is my baap. If I think he's my baap, then there is no tati vow in me because I have surrendered to the hukam. So Par Brahm is hukam. If someone goes into the Par Brahm's hukam, he will come out of Rajotama Sato because this is only happens when you are physically thinking you are a body. Chogird Hamare Ramkar. Now, there is another story they relate that Lakshman did this thing. They stolen this story from here. It has to be Ramkar, not Lakshman Rekha. That is a distorted story out of this. That I have got the virtues of Ram in me, they are forming a sort of shield for me, and they don't let, although what I was accepting before was dukh, is not dukh, it's a part of hukam. Dukh, sukh dukh, doe dar kapde pehre jaye manukh. So these are just like day and night. Then he says, Satgur Pura Petya. This is what the real aim is. That I met a Satgur. And he created that frame of mind with me. Jin Banat Banai. Why I started thinking like that? My other two brothers didn't think like that. I accepted forth my physical father as my Satgur. And then I accepted what the Gurmat is. Then this wisdom created in me. What was the wisdom? Ram Nam Aukhat diya. Sadgur can only give you Ram Nam. And I was surprised that when I look at Kansi Naba, the word Ram and its subsidiaries, other words, there are about 50 of them, but Ram Nam is not explained by him. Whatever you look in the Kansi Naba, Ram is explained in detail, but that is Vedantic Ram, not ours. All other things, Ram Nam has never been explained properly. It is that okhad, it is that medicine which was given to my mind. And what was the effect of it? Ekka. Man aur chitta ekka ho gaya. My inner and outer wisdom came together. That's what the live is. The live is between the outer and the inner consciousness. Then he says, Rakh liyet in rakhanhar sab byad mitai. There are three words in Gurmat. Ad, byad and upad. Upad is when you have to leave the maya. When the mind leaves the trikuti, that is byadi chaddi. When you become one, that is upadhi. When you become one, then you are byad. But the ad is still there. The ad hasn't gone yet. He says through Ram Nam, we can only remove the byad. Then the ad is still there. Kahunan Kirpa Pai. Now this Satgur is getting Kirpa on himself. Prabhupada Sai, now Parmeshwar has given the Naam to me. Then with that the Ad is also gone and I'm back into the state of oneness with the Parmeshwar. So that was my intake. Ji Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.
So, Vijay, like to explain, so what is the main message for us from your point of view on this level?
Parbrahm Sharnai ji, whatever happens, happens in the hukam and I have to accept it. It's better to accept it with a glowing face than, complaining about it. We have to accept it, what has happened. But let's accept it in a healthy way rather than, that I have to accept it. No, it was to happen. That's good. Parbrahm Sharnai is what the main theme is.
ठीक है, thank you, जी. And Dilpit Veer ji, any comment or any observation?
No, I think it was very good listening to everyone. And as we all grew up singing this Shabad from our childhood, and we all believed that, okay, now all problems will go away. And with most of us, this has happened, and we felt good after this, right? So I think believing and thinking as Guru as a support when we are growing up and loving, and we need self motivation, and we need to believe that things will be okay and Guru is with us, which is a very good thing. And if we understand the hukam and pana manana, so these things become more and more stronger. And yesterday there was one shabad, I think I was reading, it said that it becomes like a mountain kind of support. Okay, so it once we believe, and then this support system of hukam, pana, manana, and our belief, it is like a mountain around us, and that then we are not touched by these other things. So that's the other thing I wanted to add. Thank you.
Anji, thank you, Virji. And I think we still have some time, so we can do another round. Hanji, Ripudaman Virji.
Nothing much to add. Thank you.
Okay, ji. Gurdeep Uncle, Montreal.
Hanji, yes. Do you hear me?
Hanji, we can hear you.
Okay. There are two things now. हुक्म भी इतना मनाए सी जिनको नदर करे. That means before we say कि हुक्म बनिए, it's not, we are not have that much power unless we get the nazar. This is out of Gurbani. हुक्म भी इतना मनाए सी जिनको नदर करे. Guru Arjan Dev Ji writes one place, तेरा भाना तू है मनाए जिसनु होए दयाला. This Guru Arjan Dev Ji. And he faced all those things. Everybody knows the long story. So still, we have to receive the nadar karam. Ode vaste gun gaane juriya. We have to sing the divine hymns from the core of our heart.
Thank you. Anji, Ekunkar ji, the second round ji, any observation?
Yeah, I'm just really appreciating listening to the conversation tonight, and the line from Japji comes to mind, Gavya Sonia Manarakhya Bal Dukpahar Sukakarane Jai. You know, I hope I'm remembering it correctly, but and I think that's just clarifying something for me, that there is suffering and there is pain, but and there is happiness and joy, and it is all in hukam. But the Guru doesn't leave us without a technique, to transform suffering and to transform pain. And it's that art of singing and listening and letting the love come into the mind. And so when we're talking about, Parabram Saranai, I think it's that practice of Gavya Sunya Manarakhya Bhao that takes us into the protection, and in that protected state, things that do cause pain can be transformed. I do think that it's a transformation process. I don't think it's a not experiencing process, but I think it's a powerful transformative practice that the Guru gave, which is universal, because it doesn't matter. Like hearing the story about Guru Gobind Singh and the Zafarnama and the names of God at the beginning, it takes a very powerful being to call God by every name that's out there and not feel like you're limited to one name or a few names and not allowed to say another. So that's why I think that the Gurus were very universal, actually, and trying to give a technique to transform suffering, not necessarily create a separate name of God or a separate identity. So those are some thoughts.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you very much. Anji, Prithvirji, final 2 minutes to you, Ji, to give us the take-home message and final comments from you. Dilpreet Ji.
Hanji, I think I also learned a lot. I came with one understanding, and now I am leaving with the other one. I think our Guru Shabad is the complete transformation of our mind and thought process. And once that, with the practice or day-to-day practice, once that transformation happens, and then we can be out of this. I think we have to continue the practice, as Ekumkarji said, Gaviya Suniya Man Rakhiye Pav, on daily basis. And that is when the transformation will start. And once it happens, then we will be out of it. Thank you.
Hanji, thank you, Virji. So, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa,
Bye.
Ji Ki Fateh.